We go to the 4 and 5, and that they actually already played today. Thankfully, New York won game 1 over the Cavs, but the Cavs are the 4 seed. New York Knicks are the 5 seed. So, like I mentioned, Cavs already dropped one opening game at home. John, do you believe in the Cavs, or do you think maybe the Knicks can finally have they won a playoff series? I don't even know, but do something basically.
Pretty sure the Knicks haven't won a playoff series since Carmelo Anthony left. I might be wrong in that, but
I didn't want an angry Knicks fan to be like, "We won back in 2018." You know, I was trying to avoid that.
I can't remember a single time
like you're right.
Since Melo, and even then with Melo, they didn't. Maybe they only won 1 or 2.
I don't think they ever made it past the second round with Melo.
Yeah. So anyway, ultimately, I mean, I know that the Knicks did come out with game 1 and they did steal home court advantage, interestingly here. But I still believe in the Cavaliers. I mean, this game, the big differentiator here was the Knicks just made it really ugly, and the Cavs, they couldn't break out of that. But the issue was that although the Knicks made it ugly for Cleveland, I mean, like to clarify that statement, like for the Cleveland, they shot 43% from the field, 32% from 3. They had 14 turnovers, so like it wasn't a very clean game. That said, although they were able to make it ugly for Cleveland in terms of their defensive efforts, it was even more ugly for the Knicks themselves. They shot 42% from the field, so 1.5% lower. They shot 27% from 3, so about 5% lower. And they had 16 turnovers, which is 2 more than the Cavs. Now, they did manage to win, and that was in large part due to their rebounding. They out-rebounded the Cavs by 13. I don't see that continuing, personally, because, I mean, you talk about Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, like, the Cavs have the talent and the personnel to clean that up. And I think the Cavs also have the ball handlers to clean up the mistakes when it came to the turnovers. I think they have the shooters to increase that three-point percentage. And on the other side, like I said, although the Knicks were able to make things dirty and just make it not that great of a time for the Cavs offensively, I think that Cleveland has the people to break out of that, to where with the Knicks, I think this is kind of the status quo. If they want to win, it's got to be kind of gross. I don't feel like Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle are like capable of just having dominant performances while also being efficient and also having to contribute on the defensive end. So I'm going to go with Cleveland. I think they take this in 6. I could see it going 7. Because you can't count out the Knicks. Like I said, when it comes to those ugly games, they're going to do that stuff all the time. And the Cavaliers are a young team, so it could bother them. But ultimately, I still got Cleveland in 6 or 7.
Yeah, it's so I want to say I do have Cleveland in 6, but especially with this, with the Knicks taking game 1, you could easily see 7. I mean, it's a typical Tom Thibodeau type team. I will say in regards to Quentin Grimes, good defensive player. And they have Josh Hart as well. I was trying to blank on John. He had a really good game 1. But those two will be key in regards to slowing down Mitchell and Garland, which, I mean, they slowed down Garland game 1. Mitchell, he still went off. But I'm definitely looking to see more from the Cavs. Big men, Mobley, 4 for 13. He had a tough night, but I expect the Cavs to kind of figure it out as the series goes on. We've seen, like you mentioned, Julius Randle. As much as I love him, particularly inefficient, and especially in the playoffs too, when once again you're playing the same team consecutively, and they start figuring out, okay, let's take away these spots from him. It just feels like, especially hit Randle and Barrett. It's just tough to trust them in regards to, can these two consistently be the second best scorer behind Brunson, who's really good. Like Brunson, I will give credit's due. Knicks fans, I feared that would be an overpay. Seems like he's been living up to his contract, but you just can't expect Josh Hart to be 8 for 11 and 17 points to be a highly efficient offensive contributor every single night. But I will say, concern for the Cavs is too, like their bench. I know the bench is tight in the playoffs, but the guys you do play, like the Karis LeVert, hopefully he can get going. We really haven't seen him find his groove in Cleveland. Remember, he would kind of go off on some huge scoring nights with the Brooklyn Nets. And it didn't really. I'm not sure if he did much in Indiana before he went to Cleveland, but hopefully he can kind of refine his rhythm because they may need him, to be the third best scorer if Evan Mobley, is still struggling, and Jared Allen's not going to put up a whole, 14 and 14 is pretty much like what you're going to expect from Jared Allen. So I don't think Isaac Okoro is going to be lighting up the scoreboard because that's just not his role. So that's going to be, I feel like, a grinding series, and Donovan Mitchell's always feel like in those type of series, even going back to those Jazz days with his duels with Jamal Murray. So once again, we are in agreement there between those two in that series.